to the time now is 8:36. There was a time when television programs like The $6 Million Man and Bionic Woman were just fiction. Bionics, not something we'd see in our lifetime. Well, health and science editor John Fowler took up the challenge and found one incredible Bay Area man and his machine.
It's one of the world's newest and hottest high-tech airplanes. Former Marine Corps pilot and former airline captain Mike Penketh excels at stunning, brain-swirling aerobatics. And this Bay Area pilot does it all without using his hands. In fact, both his arms were amputated just below the elbow. Mike Penketh is the world's only pilot licensed to fly with double bioelectric hands.
You see, that's the thing. If you want to do it, you can do it. If you want to do it bad enough, there is nothing you can't overcome.
It started more than 6 years ago. Penketh was an airline pilot and part-time air racer. He won first place at the 1993 Reno Air Races and celebrated the next day with a land speed record attempt at the Bonneville Salt Flats. At 300 miles an hour, his car flipped out of control, crushing both his arms.
My first thought was, now I have to learn to fly airplanes using hooks. I never once thought I couldn't do it.
Mike Penketh and John Fowler join me this morning. That's an incredible story.
Good morning. Thank you very
much. Good
much.
morning. Nice to have you here, Mike. Tell us, is it your bionic arms are hooked up to your remaining arms, and it's the nerves in your arms that tell the bionic arms what to do?
My lower arms are amputated below the elbow, and these are myoelectric hands, and they work off the muscle flex. There's a sensor that picks up the electrical impulse off the muscle, goes to a receiver, to a battery, back into a motor, and presto, the hand works just like your hands do, but your brain waves go to your hand, my brain waves go to the end of my amputation.
So it's the muscles that control this, and you can turn the hands.
Well, I can do things you can't do. I don't know what good that is, but on Halloween the kids really love it. I can go either way.
Were these developed specifically for you?
No, not all. This technology is about 30 years old. These are built in Germany by a company named Autobach, and assembled. The socket in the assembly was by Hanger Novacare here in the United States. But the technology is not really new. It's just very expensive.
Was it difficult to deal with the FAA and trying to get them to give you a license so you could fly this way?
Your license never expires, but you lose a medical certificate, which you need to validate your license. And we had to go through an educational process with the FAA because they did not want to accept the fact that a disabled person could do what I want to do.
You have a lot of admiration. I mean, you're a pilot
I
yourself,
do.
John.
There are a couple of things I want to add here. Not only is Mike this remarkable pilot, but he also goes to schools and he teaches young people what they can do to overcome obstacles in their own lives. He did something that's really, we can see here, he's offering these kids an opportunity to see what it's like to overcome this remarkable handicap. Not only did he have to overcome the FAA, he's had to overcome the problems that any pilot would have, not being able to feel the controls. And I'll tell you, I've done a little flying, that you get a lot of information back through your fingertips, particularly when you fly aerobatics, because he's at the edge of the envelope all the time. And he feels the airplane with his fingertips. He can't do that. So he has to make up for it with being smarter and faster and better as a pilot than most pilots.
That had to be a real challenge for you in the beginning. I mean, he talks about that fingertip sensitivity.
Well, it is. I have absolutely no sense of feel. And I have to visually see everything that happens, so my visual acuity is very important. When I fly my airplane, I have to look out and see, look at the wingtip and see what it's doing and then make the correction. Whereas John would simply feel what the airplane's doing and make the correction a split second before I would. So he's a little bit ahead of me in the game.
When you first had your accident and had to have your arms amputated, you had to have some time of depression.
Sure, we all go up and down.
Yeah.
I had low points. I had high points. Some people go real high, real low. And I went real high, real low to begin with. But then suddenly that range got lower and lower and lower till now. It's all the same.
So what do you tell other people, and not just with physical disabilities? A lot of us have mental disabilities as well. And how do we forge ahead? What's your tip, if there is a tip?
Well, you got to keep on marching is one of my favorite sayings. Life's not going to wait for you. You have to get back in the bandwagon as soon as you can. You just have to go out and do things. If you want to do it, go do it. You're the only person holding yourself back.
Well, John Fowler's Bionic Pilot, it's a segment 2, is a continued version, an expanded version
Yes,
tonight.
it's a wonderful story.
Yeah, on the 10 o'clock news.
Watch tonight.
Nice to have you here.
Okay, well,
nice
thank
to
you
meet
very
you.
much.
John,
Thank
good
you.
to see you again as well.
Thanks.
Time now is 8:41. Mark Pitta, how are you this morning?
Good, Ross. Thank you very much.